So I'm in DC and I get called into jury duty at least once a year and I've never served. And well, what if everybody gets out of jury duty? Listen, there are many do-gooders around you that actually look forward to doing their civic duty. And they think they're going to make a difference. Great. There is not going to be a shortage of jurors. Now, my opinion, I think, judging or determining the outcome of a legal proceeding needs to be a paid profession. And that's going to come with training, it's going to come with certification, and as well as evaluation. So, how many times has this juror disagreed with the majority? If this juror was a lone holdout, okay, what was their rationale? And a given juror's performance is tracked, right? If you have a randomly selected person, first of all, I don't have a lot of confidence that they would have, the ability to properly, determine the outcome of a legal proceeding. More importantly, there's no consequence for whatever the decision is. So here's how it works in DC. You are, first of all, you get a mail-in form, and I would advise against trying to get out of jury duty via the mail-in form. I know it's going to be easier, but you're going to have to furnish evidence supporting why you cannot be present. And usually that comes in two forms. Either you say that you have to take care of your sick grandmother, or there's a work obligation that you can't get out of. But I've actually furnished evidence that was, I think, pretty strong, and it's been rejected. Is it now coming in? Okay, so just sort of resign yourself to the fact that you're going to have to take time off of work, lost wages. You're going to have to jockey for parking position, go into the whole, file into the courthouse and metal detector the lines, etc. It's not fun, and then you're going to be put into a big room of like 100 plus people, and you're just going to wait there for a while, and you're just going to sit there and stew in your own juices until about 20 or so of you are pulled to go to a specific room, and that room will most likely have the judge and counsel for both sides present to determine the 12 out of the 20 or so that they want to or willing to serve on that jury panel. So the judge will give you sometimes only a vague description of the case. You don't know if it's a civil case, a criminal case, a type of case. It's imperative that you pay very close attention to everything about that case, whatever information you get, because that's going to be your out. Okay. So sometimes that judge is going to give you a softball. They're going to say, okay, well, take an example, a criminal case. They're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you're going to write down your answers on a sheet of paper independently, and then I will call up people that answered a certain way. So one of the questions that I've gotten a couple times is, do you trust law enforcement? Well, if you think about it, the prosecution's case in a criminal case is going to rely heavily on the testimony of law enforcement. So if a juror answers, no, I don't trust law enforcement, well, no prosecuting attorney is going to allow that juror to serve, right? So I will, remark no, and typically you're called up to explain that. Well, why don't you trust law enforcement? And, explain your answer. Well, that's it. Well, there's a lot of media coverage. Yeah, it has been very anti-law enforcement. It leads me to believe that they're not trustworthy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that juror is not going to be selected, or you're not going to be selected. Now, in some cases, it's going to be a little less, I guess, easy, right? So you might just get a very generic, is there any reason why you don't feel that you can be impartial serving on a jury? Well, that's very vague, right? But remember, if we listen to whatever information we got earlier of the case, we can formulate a response. So let's take an example, right? And our goal is to be able to conclude with, I don't care what the evidence says, my mind's already made up, right? So, example, a landlord-tenant case, right, a civil case. Well, that's all you know about it, fine. You can respond, okay, hey, I'm a landlord, I deal with tenants, they're no good. None of them are any good. I don't care what the evidence says, my mind's already made up. That's a conclusion. And you're probably not going to be selected to be on that jury, right? What you're looking for is any characteristic on either side that prevents you from being impartial. Okay, so with landlord, tenant, contractor suit, homeowners association, squabble, whatever, you're going to pick a side and you're going to side with that, and at the end of that, you're going to be able to say, I don't care what the evidence shows, my mind's already made up. That should get you out of jury duty. And if you, I guess, disagree that that jurors, I guess, should be selected randomly, then feel free to put yourself in the hot seat in front of the Fab 12 and let us know how that works out for you.